York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Knick Of Time Show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in its nick of time. And guess what? The Knicks win again. We don't have OG Anunoby. We don't have Julius Randle. And we still obliterate the Hornets 113 to 92. And we had contributions all over the floor. Josh Hart damn near gets you a triple-double with 8 points, 7 assists, and 12 rebounds on the night. Hartenstein only plays 16 minutes and gives you 10 points and 4 rebounds. McBride locking people up, shooting threes, and gives you 11 points, 1 steal, and 1 assist. And Dante's Inferno is in full effect. He had the green light to Gabe, putting up 22 shots and had 28 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds on the night. And our leader, our MVP, Jalen Brunson, gives you 32 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds on the night. The Knicks scored 44 points in the third quarter. All they need is 1 quarter to really do it. They scored 25 points off of turnovers, and they beat the Hornets in submission until we got the win. And this is a good game. This is a good game to kind of test out the new lineups, get some kinks out, because it started out ugly, guys. It started out ugly. We had Precious Achiuwa starting. We had who else we had? We had Precious starting. We had Josh Hart starting. They didn't really know the front from their back for the first 2 quarters, but we got it together and we got that win. And that's what champs do, all right? We get things together and we figure it out and we get that win. And now we're 2 games away from second place in the NBA. We're still 4th place in the East. And what game is this? This is the 7th game? 7th game winning streak?
Oh, your 7th game, yeah.
7th game winning streak. I'm losing count of all the wins that we get, man. We just racking them up. I can't even remember it anymore. But we're going to talk about all the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all the little tidbits and news that's been buzzing around. So let's get to it, all right? First and foremost, let me introduce the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building. Another Knicks win in MSG South. I don't know if it's 1, 2, 3, 4. All I know is that there's a whole bunch of them.
Exactly. Just stacking them. Just keep stacking it. Just keep stacking it. And of course, you already know it is the Latin assassin, my guy Lee. What's going on, Lee?
What's up, y'all? Great Knicks win. We beat probably the worst possible team we could have played, which boded well for us with 3 of our starters out. But it was nice to smack Mikal Bridges in the face. Always a good thing.
Is that like a double entendre you did this? Smack Mikal Bridges? I feel like that's what that was. I feel like that's where you're going.
No one gets me like you, bro.
I've been getting all the subliminals. No one be catching it. I've been catching all the subs. He be doing sneaky subs.
You sure do.
Oh man, but let's get to it. The start of this game, I'm not gonna lie, it was like watching paint dry. It was a struggle to score. I didn't even know if he was gonna even reach 80 points, let alone 100. It was a defensive matchup. We kind of filling our way around, but there were some things that I liked, man. I saw some different lineups I've never seen before. I saw Josh and Precious playing together. I saw Precious and Sims playing together. I saw Dante and Grimes playing together. I saw Deuce playing the 2. I saw all sorts of mixing and matching today because the coach didn't have a choice. There was nobody to play. But all in all, even while shorthanded, is one thing that this team does night after night, and that's play defense. We're #1 team in the league with defensive field goal percentage, defensive net rating. We're holding teams to under 100 points in the month of January, and we've done that 14 times. This team is the only team that has done that, and we have not lost our defensive identity. And this is when I'm gonna start low. I'm gonna give Lee's boy Precious Achiuwa some props. I'm gonna give him some props because I know we definitely gonna talk about Dante. We definitely gonna talk about Jalen Brunson. But I was really locked into where Precious Achiuwa was on the floor, and he just did not make mistakes. He's good point of attack defender, good help defender, and he did a lot of that without fouling. A lot of that without fouling. Now, he didn't have the rebounding game that he usually had, but defensively, that impact that you feel like we might lose because OG was out, I felt like Precious brought a lot of that with him today. And the team defense was good, but to me, because of the eye test, he stood out to me personally today.
Yeah, I want to jump on that. I've been a huge supporter of him. I thought he was a great bonus in the trade. In fact, that was probably the one thing I heard when that trade came out in segments. And when I heard we got Precious, knowing he was a Miami Heat draft pick and watching him in Miami, I was very excited about what he could bring to New York, especially paired with OG. I felt we got OG and then his like the dollar store version of him. And I don't mean that as a disrespect to Precious,
I know
but
what you
OG
mean.
he's first team all defense. And dollar store version of that is well above the average NBA player. And I told you, I watched the first couple of games. I was like, Precious is in the right spots. He's constantly cutting, which a lot of the Knicks players do, at least the ones I love watching. He fits right in that regard. And now he has a team with Hartenstein back and healthy and Brunson being more of a playmaker. He got some open shots under the basket. And you're right. He's not the super switchable, like Swiss Army knife that OG is, but I think he guards a point of attack really, really well, no matter where that point of attack is coming from. And I think it was purposeful. Tibbs had him on Miles Bridges because he knew that Bridges was key to us possibly losing the game. If he goes off, then it helps open up the floor for everybody else. I don't think anyone expected Brandon Miller to have a career high. I want to talk about him at some point too. He's a very talented kid, but I think the point was to stop Miles. And once we stopped Miles by having Precious on him, the game was there. I thought he did a really great job of knowing where Miles was lethal from on the floor and closing out on him in those spots, and then letting up in others where he knew that he was inefficient in terms of his shooting spots around the floor. So smart, intelligent defense, smart scheming by Tibbs. Another great win, another great rotation night for Tom Thibodeau. I want to give him his flowers, and obviously I love Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah. I think Miles got going, but I feel like he got going when Precious was off the floor.
Yes.
I think that's when I think Grimes might have been on when he got going. Go ahead, Ryan. I don't know if you got to add anything.
First and foremost, I want to big up former Nick Gray, Frank Ntilikina. Because tonight, he had a career high 0 points, 0 shooting from the field, -11 while he was on the court. So big up former Nick Gray.
Sounds like pretty much what he did when he was in New York.
Exactly. So big up former Nick Gray.
000.
Yeah, that's number one. I want to start off with that. Number two, yeah, it definitely did look rocky for the Knicks early in the game offensively. And I mean, looking at the lineup, you thought that would be the case. There would be less spacing with iHeart, Precious, and Josh Hart on the floor at the same time. And you already knew that coming into that game, like Charlotte was gonna probably double team Brunson and try to get the ball out of his hands, and force the other Knicks to score the ball. And that's why I would have preferred if Grimes also started, because at least it would give you two shooters on the court that could space the floor, and then probably have Precious and iHeart in the front court. But overall, the Knicks lean on their defense, and that's what the Knicks are going to have to do with Julius Randle out. They're going to have to lean on their defense a whole lot to stay in games and to just keep up with the opponent. And but the one thing I did like about tonight's game was the fact that especially in the second half, I like the ball movement.
Yeah.
The ball movement was exceptional. And the way that they were able to just pass the ball around, penetrate into the paint, kick out for passes, and eventually find the open shooter. I thought that was great. And I think a lot of what I saw in the second half, the Knicks are going to have to incorporate that into their offense while Julius Randle is out, because with Julius Randle out, Jalen Brunson is definitely going to see a whole lot more double teams, and other guys are going to have to step up and knock in open shots. And they're going to have to move the ball around to the open shooter. So I was glad to see that in the second half. And, I mean, let's just be real about it. Charlotte had no LaMelo balls.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's one game where the Knicks could get away with not having Julius Randle or OG, this is the game that they could get away with it. And the Knicks being a winning team and Charlotte being a losing team, that just popped up in the second half. The Knicks knew how to execute. Charlotte didn't know how to execute, and Knicks were able to just smack them dudes.
Yeah, not for real. For real. This is partly why Dante is here, man, because they was taking the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands. Dante, he was rubbing his hands together. He's like, yes, I got the juice now. He was putting them up. I feel like his arm, he got to ice his arm because I know his arm was sore from all the shots he was taking. I think he said he took a career high 22 shots. Shot 10 to 22 from tonight, but also he played a little bit of pick and roll. So we're wondering where the offense is going to be run from. It's going to have to come from a combination of Dante and OG and not just from Jalen Brunson. But the game really broke open when Jalen Brunson got crazy. Because when Jalen Brunson got crazy and he became a threat, a scoring threat, it was all over. Because the first quarter, Jalen Brunson didn't really find his rhythm. But then once he started finding his rhythm in that third quarter, all the Hornets were on a high alert. They was going for every pump fake, double, triple team him, and it was just easy pickings. It was just a pass, a double pass to Hartenstein, a wide open pass to Dante in the corner. Brunson had 15 points and 4 assists in the third quarter alone. And so really the Knicks scheme was play defense, score one quarter with Jalen Brunson smacking people in the head, and then play more defense. That's what it really looked like. But we can get away with it with this team. With other teams, you're going to have to find even more creative ways to score. So hopefully that's OG Anunoby being back from elbow injury. Maybe that's more pick and roll with Dante and whoever, just to give Jalen Brunson some time off the ball to conserve energy. It might have to be some other ways. Today, that third quarter too, it was Charlotte's coach and team. They're butt cheeks, man. I'm sorry, they're just butt cheeks. I'm watching after Jalen Brunson cooked them. I'm watching this second unit, and I'm watching Josh Hart bring the ball up. And I'm watching Charlotte double Josh Hart. I'm like, why are they doubling Josh Hart so aggressively? Not on a fast break, but just bringing the ball up in half court. Like, we don't have real ball handlers who are going to break down the defense. So you're just kind of making it easy for us. Like, you're doubling Josh Hart. He's like, oh, I'll just make this simple pass to the middle. Now y'all scrambling. Now we got wide open threes in the corner. Like, we reversed the ball to the corner like 5, 6, 7 straight times just from a double team of Josh Hart, who's not some off the dribble Allen Iverson threat. Like, I did not get that at all. But hey, it helped us, so good for you. I'm glad. But shout out to Josh Hart. Shout out to Josh Hart in general, who almost had a triple double today.
Yeah, I haven't given him his flowers, man. I've been hard on him. I've really liked how he stepped up his game, and he's going downhill. It's a nice one-man transition that he's able to bring to his squad. And there were some times he went to the hole and hit around the rim that we really needed a bucket in that first half, where it was getting close between us and the Bobcats, as I like to call them. We needed that. This was a night where people were able to show their full bag because we had so many on-ball guys that were out.
Yeah.
And on the opposite of the floor, you're right. That organization, top down, is trash. Now, it's Steve Clifford, good coach. He comes from the same coaching tree as Tibbs. I'm not going to give him too much criticism, but the roster construction, the management personalities, they've struck out on almost everyone but LaMelo Ball. And I want to give a shout out to the rookie who cooked us, Brandon Miller. Man, that kid, he doesn't have much muscle on his bones or even elite athleticism. And I didn't see him get around the paint too much, but in terms of like from the 3-point line to the free throw line, gotta give him some props, man. They have a real player there. I think he's a 3-level scorer with potential to be a 5-level scorer if he beefs up and able to score around the rim a little bit more. But man, lanky, long. I thought he played some decent defense. He's a really good ball handler. He has the skills of a 2 guard in like a 3 or 4's body. He has a really sharp handle. I think that helps him make up for some of his lack of athleticism. But I love this pull-up midi. He's a really nice 3-point shot too. He's a big shot taker. That roster, they have some talent there, but it just shows you how far institutional rot can really destroy a team's chance of building around a roster.
Yeah, oh, man. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
No, all I was going to say is I think it's very telling when because Clifford, he got his 2 first texts of the season, got thrown out of the game. Then once he got thrown out of the game, you just saw everybody on the bench just laughing, having
Yo,
a
you
good old
read
time
my mind, Ryan.
when the Knicks were smacking them, and then on top of that, your home fans aren't even present. Like there's Knicks fans in your whole arena shouting, "Let's go Knicks!
Let's go, Knicks! Yo,
And
that's crazy.
you're telling me as an NBA player who's competitive, you're happy in that type of environment, you're joking around and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like that right there shows you the culture they have currently in
My
Charlotte.
bad. Bruh. That's what I meant to hit. Now that was crazy. LaMelo Ball was cheesing on the bench when I was getting smacked by the Knicks. I couldn't take that. I do feel like the Hornets on the floor got pissed when that happened because they started to actually fight when the cheers
Yeah,
came. They started to actually fight back. They didn't like it. They was looking like Mikal Bridges in the face when they heard the "Let's Go Knicks" chant. They was looking lost, like it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to feel like a visitor in your own home. Like they was looking real depressing. But I'll take it. We got that win, man. That's MSG South again for us. All right, we taking over. We worldwide. We state to state. It was great. It was so bad. They was trying to pan. They couldn't even really pan the camera across the Hornets arena. It was Knicks fans, orange, blue everywhere. I loved it. It was great.
I don't know if I saw my tweet, but they were doing a sing along with the Queen song, and every single fan that was singing along, everyone had a Knicks jersey on. Everyone. I was like, "This is in your home arena. This is your home." I watched the Charlotte Bobcat stream. I didn't watch the Knicks, and every single person with a Knicks jersey on. Hilarious.
Because the Knicks fans were the ones that were happy. That's why.
Yeah.
Then Queen, my team getting brought out by 20. Screw Queen.
Yo, if you watch the Knicks stream, there was one time where the camera panned pretty much panned to the stands, and you saw a whole bunch of Knicks jerseys, a whole bunch of Knicks fans sitting together. And you saw like one guy in like a Charlotte Hornets jersey in the midst of all the Knicks fans. It was so hilarious.
Yeah, he was pissed. He was shaking his head like he was pissed. He was pissed, but I'll take it. I'll take it. And you know what else I'll take? I'll take the fact that we have the right Miles on our team. All right. This is Miles McBride, man. All of a sudden, he's just like some top-notch 3-point corner shooter on the squad. He has to be shooting over 50% from that corner three. He was phenomenal today. Still a two-guard in my eyes, not much of a playmaker, but he's starring in that role as the guy who's going to shoot that corner three with gusto, and lock down people on the defensive end. And one hell of a timeout play drawn when he threw a 30-foot alley-oop to Jericho Sims to like start the fourth quarter. I was like, what? That was nasty. That was nasty. So yeah, shout out to Miles McBride, who had 11 points on the night.
My dad pointed out in that fourth quarter, though, when Miles McBride was up on the floor, they started losing the lead. And that's why Tibbs had to put Brunson in there. So it just showed that's not a knock on Deuce, because that's not Deuce's strong point. Like, Deuce would never be a playmaker. I love that he's become a sharpshooter, but it still underscores our need for a secondary playmaker on that bench unit.
I agree. I'm not going to say he'll never be a playmaker. I'll just say we'll wait and see. He's very early in his playmaking journey. I'm going to give him a year to see what he got.
Very politically correct.
He's very early in his playmaking journey. Right now, he's a sharpshooter, right? Like the shooting that we saw in Summer League is what we're seeing right now. That's translating. But, we also saw like high assist game in Summer League and high assist game in the G League. He's not having the high assist game now. But I just remember him. I remember everything was kind of predicated off the jump shot. It's all right. I don't got the jump shot now, and people are jumping. I can go in the paint and dime people up. Like, so there's a pathway there that he can kind of duplicate, but I don't know. I think he might need more reps. He needs more reps. From what I've seen though, the handle has gotten better since he's gotten more time, but it's still the decision making. It still looks things still look very stagnant when the ball is in his hands, and it doesn't look organized. So he still has a way to go. I don't know if it's like a trust thing with the teammates or he's just trying to figure out where to go on the court and win. But there's still a ways to go on that. But for what he is, like defending at a high level and shooting threes and occasional alley-oop to Sims is nice.
Yeah, and I just want to throw in something right quick because, well, first and foremost, what Lee brought up about the backup playmaker, it does lead me to a question that I wanted to ask, but I don't know if I should ask it now, if I should wait till later on, because I know that we're going to get into some things about, what came out in the news recently about, new targets that the Knicks are looking at, to replace Julius Randle in the lineup. But this is what I want to say about McBride, because McBride pretty much had the play of the game in the fourth quarter. The way he locked up Cody Martin, I was like, yo, that man has a family. Dude's like, what are you doing, son? Like, that man has a family. That man locked him up, threw away the key, and then on the fast break, hit the three in the corner. I was like,
yeah.
Yo, I was like, that play is crazy. That play was crazy.
It was crazy. Even a stare down three, like even like the aggressiveness to know when dude was playing up on him, he hits him like a little jab in one dribble and then still pulls the corner three in dude's eye. That's a type of aggressiveness I had not seen from Deuce last season.
Very true.
And he's doing that this season with not wide open threes, but like threes where somebody's kind of semi playing defense on you. So that's impressive, man. That's impressive because aggressiveness, playing scared is one of the things that I was harping on, and it seems like he's gotten over that part. And so, like, once you have the confidence part, the rest of the game can start to open up. So I don't know. I'm gonna see how it goes. Like I said, I don't think he'll be a playmaking guard to the point where he's gonna be good in the playoffs and he's gonna give him the ball and be comfortable. Like we might be a year away from that if he starts to get comfortable. But I like the steps he's taking this season. All right, and we can get into something else right now because Ryan G already kind of teased it. We can get into Julius Randle news. All right, I dropped a quick video earlier today that about Julius Randle and the news. You guys already know what's happening at this point. Julius Randle went down to a dirty Heat player who slid under him while he was trying to attack the basket and ended up dislocating his shoulder. Woj announced today that Randle and the Knicks were optimistic based on the test that he's already done. But the optimism doesn't mean he's out of the woods. Although they are optimistic that he will be out for weeks and not months, there's still more tests to be had. And they still have to prepare for every scenario. So that's where the Knicks are right now. Optimistic, but not quite out the woods yet. All right. So let's get to this article, though. And then we'll go to Ryan G's question. All right. So let's go. Boom. Julius Randle to miss at least a few weeks. Optimism Knicks star can avoid in-season surgery. So Julius Randle's absence is expected to be at least a few weeks following the shoulder's dislocation he suffered. We already know this part. Randle's replacement. There are 10 days until the NBA trade deadline, so the Knicks have enough time to acquire a replacement for Randle. Harrison Barnes or Miles Bridges.
Whose man's this?
Bruh. My bad. Hit the wrong button. Bruh. My bad. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Miles Bridges heard that and was like, for real? I have a fan?
And Bruce Brown are among the players available via trade who could replace Randle. The Knicks had been considering Brown prior to Randle's injury. At the point, they have been looking for a ball handler / scorer with the second unit. They also had been in touch with some teams on a backup big man in case Isaiah Hartenstein's Achilles injury forced him to miss time. All right. So in addition to those scenarios, this is also interesting. With the club had been in support of making no changes at the deadline, per league source. And you know what? when you winning as much as we've been winning in January, I can understand that thought process. It's like, well, why shake things up? We're winning. And also they're trying to save assets. That's really what it is. they're really trying to save assets. So maybe they now push harder for Brown, a player who already had significant support in the organization. Bridges and Barnes would also help the Knicks in the short term. It's unknown if Sacramento would make Barnes available. They obviously are trying to win games. Bridges is attainable from Charlotte, but Bridges' 2022 felony domestic violence arrest and subsequent plea of no contest would presumably factor heavily into any consideration given to Bridges. So, yeah. Guys, what are your thoughts on Bridges and Harrison Barnes becoming a Knick?
I'll let Lee go first because I have a question, so I'll let Lee go.
That's a hell no and two hell no's for different reasons. One, I think Miles Bridges doesn't deserve to be in the NBA and should not be in the NBA for the evidence, the overwhelming evidence that show that he beat the wife of his kids, the mother of his kids in the face, breaking parts of her facial bones. I also don't think that he's a good fit for what we need. I think he's someone who's going to be looking to get paid, and we're looking for cheap expiring deals, maybe veterans on expiring contracts or very team-friendly descending contracts. That's not going to be what he gets with that next contract as he's a free agent this summer. Harrison Barnes is not available. Well, I think Charlotte would love to move on from Bridges. Barnes has been a key cog in their resurgence out of the doldrums of NBA poverty and into the playoffs. And they're the best veteran presence and has been in that locker room. He's been there the longest tenured player, as well as the oldest player. And I think it makes no sense for them to get rid of someone who's been so clutch down the stretch in crunch time, hitting big shots for them when De'Aaron Fox is off, and also someone who just guides that young team to stay professional and relay the messaging of head coach Mike Brown. Doesn't make sense. So I don't think either of them are realistic. I think that's deflection for the real target, which is Bruce Brown. I think he is someone that the front office is definitely going to go after. I'm not a fan of it just because I think his skill set overlaps too much with Josh Hart. It doesn't bring the type of consistent shooting to the team that I believe we need, but he's a dog. All those 50-50 balls will win because of him, and he's a champion. He knows how to win. He was probably the fourth most important player. It floated between him and Michael Porter Jr. on the Denver Nuggets run. So he's a great asset, very tradable. You could flip him if you get him. He's that contract that I think would fill half of most Supermax contracts for a good player. But to me, I think there are better options out there than any of those three.
Yeah, I agree with you on both counts. I mean, if depending on the Julius Randle situation, I would do Harrison Barnes for the right price. If Julius Randle's situation is indeed like he's going to be out for months, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's essentially a 3-and-D power forward wing. He's been shooting 48% from the field, 41% from three. You saw he had 39 points. I think that happened recently. And like Lee said, he's a veteran and he's a professional. And at this point, if you're going to lose a guy like Julius Randle, who's a big time scorer, you just kind of have to try to give Brunson as much spacing as you possibly can and go from there. And also, you know what? He's only scoring 11.9 points per game, but the bonus is there now. So he might not be getting as much touches as he used to. His role changes. So that can, constitute to why he's only getting 11.9 points per game where he was scoring before. So I would be for Harrison Barnes, depending on the Julius Randle moves, depending on the price. You already saw the contract that I brought up earlier. $17 million goes with Fournier's 18.5. I don't know how expensive it would be though. That's the only thing. Like, would you give up Grimes and Fournier in a pick? I would definitely do Grimes. I would definitely do Fournier in a pick. Would you do Grimes in? I don't know. I don't know if I would do Grimes as well. I might pause on that part because of his age. Go ahead, Ryan G.
Yeah, as for me, Miles Bridges is easily hell no. Domestic violence charge, we don't need that in New York. I mean, the Knicks organization just recently is getting, within good graces where it's like, there's good vibes around the organization and things of that nature. You don't need to bring in anybody that's going to bring any type of negative attention to the team and the organization. So Miles Bridges is already a hell no just based off that alone. Harrison Barnes, I'm with you on JL. I'm with you, JL, is from the simple fact that it depends on how long Julius Randle is going to be out. If it's just a few weeks, I wouldn't go for that trade.
Right.
If it's an extended period of time, then I would consider it more. Bruce Brown, I agree with Lee as well. You know, he's not my first choice, but I wouldn't be mad if the Knicks brought him in just for the simple fact that he's a champion. He knows how to win. In the playoffs, you know what you're going to get from him, and he's gonna bring. He got that dog in him when it comes to playoff time. So from that standpoint, and he can score the rock and things of that nature. So he wouldn't be my first choice. I would prefer someone who can shoot the ball better and play make from that position better. But I wouldn't be mad if the Knicks brought in Bruce Brown. And here's my question. So I know before the Julius Randle injury, I think most of us agree that we want somebody to come to the team that has that backup playmaking ability, someone who can shoot, create his own shot, things of that nature, as I'm scoring pop off the bench. But now with Julius Randle being out for a period of time, we don't know the exact time as of yet. Would you rather go in the market and find a replacement for Julius Randle in the starting lineup to supplement that time while he's out? Or would you still rather go after that backup playmaker where we know if we add him to the bench, that would still probably complete the team? And you know that once Julius Randle comes back, things are going to be good because, you pretty much have your full squad and now you have that extra scorer come off the bench and things like that.
So you're saying, would you rather go after a starting power forward or a backup playmaker?
Yeah, basically with Julius Randle out, like, does your thinking change where you're like, okay, you know what? Maybe we need to bring in somebody who
It's,
can replace
it,
Julius Randle in the starting lineup while he's
it
out?
depends on the
Or
timetable.
are you
It all depends on the timetable for me. Like if it's going to be, he's out, we got a 9-game stretch. This might be a rough 9 games. But if we're going to get him back after All-Star break, then like right after All-Star break, then I would go ahead and I would just get that backup playmaker and try to like survive these 9 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's gonna be longer, then I would try to get a starting power forward and just roll the dice what we got.
I'm gonna take a stance on this. There's no situation where I would go after a starting power forward, even if the timetable extended past a month. I think it would be a waste of assets because it's pretty much guaranteed not only that Randall's going to be back, but that Randall is our starting power moving forward, our starting power forward moving forward. So I don't think it'd be a waste of assets positionally for a replacement. I would always go after a backup playmaker, someone who's a vet over the age of 29, has some playoff experience. I think that's a role that we need roster wise. When fully healthy, we're still missing that. Randall, I don't think there's any way he's going to be supplanted in the starting lineup. So you're really asking someone to come on board whose role is going to be dramatically different in 6 months or next season. And I don't think that's something that someone wants to sign up for in such a short-term situation. So yeah, there's no way I would want to trade for someone who's starting at the power forward position elsewhere. I'd rather draft a backup playmaker and someone like a Kelly Olynyk or like a third string big off the bench.
Even if it's like long term, he's not going to play for the rest of the season because I guess here's what I'm thinking. Mikal might be a different situation because like we have to risk not Mikal. I mean Miles is a different situation. All the domestic violence BS aside, straight business wise, resigning him and all that stuff, that just seems like a lot to deal with. Right. But Harrison Barnes, his contract can be flipped. Like his contract can be flipped. we can easily trade for him and then trade him in the summer. I guess that's the way I'm thinking about it. Because like I said, if you look at his contract, 17 million, 18 million, 19 million, those contracts in the NBA that are under $20 million are seen as assets, especially for a guy like Barnes who is shooting the way he's shooting right now. Like, you see, I'm on the cleaning the glass stats. You already know orange means go. He's good. He all three levels he's scoring at the rim, mid range, three. So I feel like worst case scenario, we keep him around. I mean, best case scenario, we keep him around. Because you know what? He can be a backup power forward, play wing for us, or we can ship him out for a star because he's only making 18 million. I feel like we might give up assets, but we might get an asset back because of the type of contract he is and the type of player he is. I guess that's the way I'll see it.
Yeah, that's fair. When I thought about replacing Joyce Randle to line up with a starting power forward, I wasn't thinking Harrison Barnes or a player of Harrison Barnes' level. To me, Harrison Barnes is, while he starts for the Sacramento Kings at the 3 and the 4, at 31 years old, I think he would accept a role off the bench or even a role that's in flux where, hey, you're going to start for a month and you're going to move to the bench. So in a situation like that, I also don't think he would cost much. Sure, no one's going to be giving up 2 unprotected first-round picks for Harrison Barnes. So that doesn't frustrate me, but to trade for a player who is starting on his team at the 4, like that's where he thrives, is at the 4 position. To give up picks for him or to give up assets for him, a Grimes, no, I'm against that. I'm even against giving up Grimes for Harrison Barnes.
What if it's remember we talked about, hold on a second.
I am for moving Grimes, though, for the right deal. Just not him.
Hold on a second, but what if, hold on. What if we snag Herb Jones? I don't know. Like, I know that was a rumor. I heard a rumor that they were shopping him. I'm not sure how true it is. It could be false. But you know these teams have tax implications. They have tax things they have to worry about. The reason why Sacramento might get rid of Harrison Barnes is because they're $11 million over the tax. I'm not sure exact. I know the Pelicans might be dealing with tax stuff also, but let's say we giving up something for Herb Jones and it's like Herb Jones starts for us and then he ends up being in the rotation. Like, I don't know. That could be interesting.
I don't see Herb Jones at this point in his career except in a bench role. He's starting now. I think he wants to stay starting. And on this team, positionally, there's just not a room for him. OG is our 3. Randle's our 4. He can't play 5. He can't play 2. I know it's positional, it's basketball, but Tibbs is not necessarily all the way on that side. He's more of a centrist or leaning right in terms of positional, it's basketball. He loves his rim rolling centers, traditional point guard. So I don't see Herb Jones being a realistic target. And I would not go all in pick wise on Herb Jones either, but I wouldn't give up Grimes for him.
That'd be somebody I would give up Grimes for sure. Like, without thinking about it. For sure. But yeah, you might be right. He might be right. He actually might be right, but that's something I'll probably do for sure. Or Herb Jones. Because 3 and D. That's what we need, man. We need that 3, we need that D. Pause.
I don't think we need it as much as we did before the OG trade. Right now, we need this backup playmaker situation resolved. I think this is a need that we need to resolve this season before we trade deadline. Otherwise, it would be a huge mistake, in my opinion.
I hear you. I see somebody in the chat say Eason. Yeah. Salute. All right. Salute to the chat, though. Shout out to Wilton Henna. Shout out to 19 Con Man. Shout out to Michael Moss. Shout out to Ronnie Sandin, who says the $2 super chat says, time to test Jacob can hurt. Yo, Jacob Toppin is balling in the G League. And you know what I always say, the G League is the G League. Just because you're in the G League does not mean it's going to translate to the regular league. Miles McBride was killing it in the G League, and now he's just starting to replicate the shooting that he's shown.
Yeah.
Right now. But you would have to think with 6, 7, 8 people down, I'm no exaggerating because I'm black and I exaggerate. You call up a guy in Jacob Toppin who's been hitting threes and playing defense and finishing at the rim because that's exactly what we need, right?
It is, but I also think that if the Knicks were more in the developmental stages, I'd be like, yeah, that would be an easy call up. But the fact that I think the Knicks are in a stage where they're trying to win. I don't know if I want to trust bringing up a guy from the G League and inserting him into the rotation and thinking that all of a sudden we magically got our, replacement for Julius Randle while he's out. Like,
yo, I love Ryan, yo. I love Ryan.
I'm just being real about it. Like,
nah, it's the way you being real. Like, your real be hurting people's feelings. Because you be like, because the way you said, if we're trying to win, like you said it like, man, this dude is not ready. He's a scrub. Like who? Like I feel like it's like undertones when you say that, which is why I laugh when you say it, because it's like it's that harsh truth where people be like, wait a minute, what is that? Like that's what it seems like to me, man. Because I already know people be like, when people talk about bringing people up from the G League, whose minutes is he taking? I guess is the question.
Yes, exactly.
I already know what people are gonna say. I know what people are going to say. Who do you think people are going to say?
Josh Hart?
Yeah, I'd probably say Josh. I'll say Josh Hart or Grimes. I'd probably say one of those two.
How do y'all feel about Grimes? Do you think Grimes needs to be traded at some point now in the summer? Because to me, he's not a dog. He doesn't fit the identity of his team. He's soft. He's passive. I'm close to calling him a bum.
Damn.
Wow.
I mean, you watch his team. You watch how hard Precious and Josh Hart and DiVincenzo play. They play hard. They dive for balls. They're not scared to shoot. This guy plays with fear in his eyes. And it doesn't matter what the opportunity is. He's starting. He's off the bench. OG's out. Randle's out. Brunson's out. No matter what combination of situational things you put on the court, he doesn't live up to the hype and doesn't come through in the way that you want him to when opportunity presents itself. I think Tibbs feels the same way. I think he needs not get rid of him because he sucks, but he needs to be upgraded. That position in our rotation needs to be upgraded with a real dog.
Okay. First of all right. There's two sides of the ball we're talking about here, right? We talk about offense and you're talking about defense. If you're talking about offense, then I can say, okay, he's not as aggressive as Dante. He needs work on there. But there's no way in hell I can't allow anybody to say he's not a dog defensively. When I just saw that, I saw last year him get creamed on the screen by Bam Adebayo, fall to the floor, get back up, and take the ball from Jimmy Butler in a high pressure situation in the playoffs. Like, to me, that is not a soft play to do. Like, that's something that takes some type of toughness. So I don't believe he's a bum, and offensively, he's been extremely up and down. He's taken a lot of shots today. They didn't drop.
I didn't mention anything about his defense for a reason. We all know the numbers, the advanced analytics. He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA. I'm not taking that away from him. That's why he's still in the rotation, is because of that. But outside of that, offensively, in the read and react system, he reads and he doesn't react. He is scared to shoot on a consistent basis. He had to this game because there's no Randle. He literally had to. But in the normal circumstances, fully healthy, he to me, he doesn't come up when we need him.
I don't understand how you can champion Precious Achiuwa and then crap on Grimes.
It's the role. It's different roles calling for different things. We don't need Precious to score unless it's around the rim on putbacks. We need Grimes to catch that thing and let it loose and get in the mid-range and get to the basket. He doesn't do any of them on a consistent basis.
I mean, he did it today. He missed the shots today. He missed shots.
He did today because he had to. The shots were there. There were more opportunities than there usually are.
Yeah,
he still couldn't come through.
I don't know. I just feel like in general rule of thumb, I don't like to give up on guys on their rookie contract in general. That's just like my general philosophy. Like if they're showing glimpses of something, if they show me something before, Like for 2 seasons, he shot 38% from three. This season, his role has been really yo-yoed and up and down. So it's been weird to find a rhythm, which is why I'm not just gonna be like, oh, he just sucks and just throw him away. You know what I mean? Like I've seen evidence of this has worked in this situation when he know his role, when he know what time he knew he was getting 25 minutes a game, and he knew he was getting 6-7 touches a game. His role has yo-yo from starting to not touching ball with the starting unit because let's face it, Randle and Brunson, they worked on their chemistry in the summer and they were passing the ball more to each other than Grimes this season. That's what I've noticed. Gets to the second unit where he got a rhythm for like 3 games because Hartenstein was there. Mitch goes down. Hartenstein goes to the first unit again. There's no playmakers in the second unit, so he's out of rhythm again. Like I feel like his role and his feel of when he's getting the ball and when he's not getting a ball has been all over the place this year, and it's kind of throwing him off kilter.
I know I'm pissing off Pittsburgh in the chat and probably a couple other guys, and I want to reiterate something. I am not saying trade him to the Indiana Pacers for 2 second-round picks that we get Obi Toppin. That is not what I am suggesting. I am not saying get rid of him for the sake of getting rid of him. I'm saying that role in the rotation, the 7th or 8th man off the bench, just needs to be upgraded. Someone who can play not as good defense as him, because he is one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA, eye test and stats. But give me someone who can defend and hit the shots that are given to him within the flow of the offense. Because I don't trust him in playoff time. I didn't trust him last year. He didn't come through. I don't trust him this year. And I just think it needs to be upgraded. Don't just steer him away. Package him in a piece that makes our team better. That's all I'm advocating for.
Yeah. Do I trust him to make shots in the playoffs? Right now, no, I don't. I saw last year in the playoffs he wasn't making the shots either. It's funny though, he got the respect. He got the respect of making the shots, but he never actually made the shots. I'm sticking with Grimes for now. But for me, if somebody makes sense and I'm moving him, like would just say the Herb Jones thing was the Herb Jones thing was real. Herb Jones is, a 6'8" Grimes. You know what I'm saying? Not a 6'8" Grimes. When I say 6'8" Grimes, I mean he's 6'8". He plays defense, and he also can hit the three, and he's been hitting the three. So I would do something like that because it's obviously an upgrade in my eyes, and he's still young. But I haven't given up on him.
Yeah, I haven't given up on him yet either. I admit there's been times this season where I have been fed up with his play, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and thinking that he's not aggressive enough. I would give up Grimes if the right player is brought in, if it's the right deal. I would give him up, but I wouldn't just trade him for the sake of like for example, if the Knicks are gonna go after a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, like I wouldn't give up Grimes in that kind of deal. To bring a guy like Brogdon here or things of that nature. Like I think the way I think about it is, I do think he matches the team in the sense of defensively. The way he plays defense matches with the way the team plays defense as a whole. And I think in the team defensive scheme, he does work in that way. Offensively, yeah, if he was a bit more aggressive and knocked in his shots on a consistent basis and things of that nature, of course, I would be very helpful. But just the fact that he defends and I do think he's a dog on defense. That's the reason why I'm giving him I would give him a chance. But yeah, if it's the right deal that pops up, I wouldn't be hesitant to move him. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. Look, Miles McBride's had less opportunity than Grimes, and he's evolved at a faster pace. He came in with a lesser skill set than Grimes, less pedigree than Grimes, a smaller build, and he has added that 3-point shot to his arsenal. Now he's got to respect him. You can't lean off him and double team, or he's gonna drill it. Grimes, year 3, he still can't hit a damn wide open 3 on a consistent basis.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
If he didn't hit 38% from 3 last year and 38% from 3 the year before, I'd be with you. But history happened. You know what I'm saying? Like
how many attempts?
Huh?
How many attempts and how many made threes though?
How many attempts? I mean, how many? He made 38% from 3 2 straight seasons.
How many threes did he shoot? and how many other of the shots that he made. That's what I'm saying. Did he shoot 30%? Did he hit 2 a game, or 30% he hit 5 or 6 a game? That's a huge difference. That's all I'm saying.
He's come from college when he puts up 8 threes a game. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, he ain't doing that in the NBA. I'll bet money on that. 8 for sure.
Hold on, I have to look it up because I don't know that off the hand how many attempts he had. But I know. Hold on.
Okay, so this season he's shooting 4.7 threes per game.
So, and last season, how much were you shooting?
5.7 threes per game. So he's taking 1 less 3 per game this season.
So 5.7 threes, 38% from 3 is a good value.
No, that's something he took. He made 2. His average all 3 seasons are 2 made threes. So yeah, like I said,
that's good volume, Lee. 5.7 threes a game on 20 minutes a game is good value.
That's easily replaceable.
That
2 made a game. No. 2 made. 5 taken, 2 made.
Lee, 38% from 3. I'm telling you, 38% from 3. You're thinking with emotion. I'm telling you stats and numbers. 38% from 3 when you're taking over 5 a game at 3 minutes a game, 25 minutes a game is good volume, Lee.
No, I disagree.
No, you can't disagree because you get your emotions, Lee.
Because I'm disagreeing, but that's good value.
No, it's good volume. Good volume, Lee. Because if you're playing 30 something minutes a game, now you're at 8 threes a game.
Yes,
so
but we know
you have to condense it for the amount of minutes you're getting, Lee. So I'm telling you, league wide, anybody shooting 38% from 3, take the motion of Grimes out of it and what you're seeing today. Anybody hitting 38% from 3 on over 5 attempts a game is good percentage.
I'm not arguing that 30% is not a good percentage. Those are NBA average numbers for the last 10, 15 years. 30% is a good clip. No one is arguing
Your argument is the volume is too low, and I'm telling you it's not. It's not.
I am saying it is because that 30% equals 2 made 3-point shots.
Oh my gosh, Lee.
You can replace that.
I'll say this. I'll put it in perspective. Take for example Dante DiVincenzo. He's a 3-point shooter, right? Last year with the Golden State Warriors in 26 minutes per game, he shot 5.3 threes per game and made 2.1 threes per game. So if you're putting that in comparison to Grimes is taking the amount.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Lee. You're not
the amount of minutes he plays.
I agree.
You're agreeing, but
I agree. But Grimes has had the opportunity to start this year and be able to shoot at a higher volume this year, and he still has not increased.
He's not shooting at a higher volume. He's playing less minutes. Like you're
starting.
Lee, you're not listening. I don't know.
I am. I'm disagreeing on good volume.
You don't know what good volume is. That's the problem. You're not understanding what
volume and percentage are 2 different things. He shoots a good percentage. He doesn't shoot a good volume.
What is good volume, Lee? What is good volume for 25 minutes a game?
If he was shooting 38% and
no, Lee, listen to the question. What is good volume for 25 minutes a game?
Making 4 threes a game, 3 to 4. I would say.
Okay, stay right there. Good volume is 3 to 4 threes a game.
Yeah.
He's shooting 5 threes a game.
No, made 4.
Make 4.
3 to 4.
Make 4 out of what, Lee? You're confusing makes.
Whatever equals 38%. Whatever equals 38%.
Lee, you're confusing makes with attempts, Lee.
No, I'm telling you, the percentage 30% is good.
Oh my gosh, we gotta take this off air so I can explain it to you.
Only
because we're going in circles.
2 a game is replaceable. You can find that in the open market via trade. You can find someone who can get you.
Oh my gosh, Lee! Look at every high volume 3-point shooter and tell me how many makes he makes a game. It's all going to be around 2 to 3, Lee. No one makes in 5 threes a game.
Improved his percentage or his mates or his volume in 3 years.
Oh my gosh,
it's been exactly the same.
Oh my gosh,
just another example. Malik Beasley shooting 46.3% from 3-point range this season. In 29 minutes per game, he's shooting 46% from 3. He takes 6.1 threes per game and makes 2.8.
No one makes 5 threes a game, Lee. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He's 46% 3-point shooter.
Does Malik Beasley start?
Yes.
He
Or
does start for the Bucks.
He starts for the Bucks and plays 31 minutes a game, and he puts them up. Lee, I'm trying to save you, Lee.
No, I listen.
I'm trying to tell you.
My statement has been it's replaceable in the open market. You can replace that. Everything, the 38%, the 2 a game, you can find
Lee, this is what you find in the open market. You find 3 and no D or D and no 3. That's what you find. Pause. In the open market. But you have a guy who's young, who has the defense already, and he's shown that he can hit threes in previous seasons. So sometimes if you be patient, that can come with it because you already know the defense is there. That's all I'm really saying. And you're trying to make this argument that he's not making enough threes a game, but I'm telling you that's on par with the entire NBA.
I don't think there's enough threes a game to make an impact on where we should commit to him long term at that position in the rotation. I think we could find an upgrade for somebody who can give you not as good a defense, pretty close, and way better 3-point percentage and volume. For what I expect to be a finals run this year, I don't trust him. I think that position needs to be upgraded. That's just my opinion.
I'll say this. I get where Lee is coming from, where he's saying that it's easily replaceable because, yeah, it's NBA average. So it's like, okay, if he shoots average threes per game and it's an NBA average, then, yeah, you probably can't find somebody else
who can hit threes, but are they going to give you the defense?
And make the same amount of threes and probably plays defense as well. But I think the point here is that, yeah, it might be easily replaceable, but it's not like you're going to have a significant improvement over Grimes in that position because he's taking pretty much league average threes and making league average threes. It's like there's not many players out there that's going to take more threes in the minutes that he plays and hit more threes. Like there's not many players out there that even matches that.
When Grimes had the same role, starting position in the 2 guard, he was still only averaging 2 mates. Dante DiVincenzo was averaging 4 mates this year in that same role that Grimes was. Grimes has seen no upward tick in volume or percentage since he came into the NBA.
Dante's not averaging 4
I'm not saying
mates.
he's shitty. I'm just saying you can replace him.
Say it again, Ryan.
Dante's not averaging 4 threes made this season. He's averaging 2 point something.
No, I just looked.
I'm gonna bring it up.
Nah, you're confusing attempts with makes, Lee. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, it's 8 No, he makes 8 attempts. He's 8 attempts. Dante DiVincenzo.
Yes, 8 attempts. How many makes?
4. Just told you.
No, Dante's averaging 6.3 threes per game, and he's making 2.7 per game.
Oh, my bad. I was looking at the wrong metric.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Lee. And he's the number. He is the number. I forgot 3 or 2. He's the number 3 or 2 high volume 3-point shooter in the entire league. So if the number 3 or 2 high volume 3-pointer shooter in the entire league isn't giving you 4 threes a game, that means, what does that tell you, Lee? You're not going to find nobody hitting 4 threes a game because he's number 2 or 3. So then there's 2 people who there's 2 more people in the league who hit more than him, and they're probably hitting like percentage points higher than he is. Like you're asking for the impossible. But I didn't want to stay on it too long because we already here though. We already here. I understand the sentiment though that people are getting frustrated with he's missing looks. And he's missing open looks. That's the overall. That's what you're really saying. He's missing open looks. And you're frustrated with the open looks that he's missing. And I get that part. And so you're thinking, oh, maybe you can find somebody else that can hit the open looks. Cool.
Yes. True. When you contextualize the average, when you factor in what Grimes is doing into the league average, yes, okay, I'll give you that point. But I think that also reinforces, I think Ryan touched on this, that is the league average. You might be able to find that at a pretty high rate on the open market to find someone who can replace him.
I just think it's the league. You want a lot of 3 and D people here. So it's like when you're getting young players, it's very rare that young players come into the league and have both off the rip. They usually kind of have one or the other and they have to kind of work on it. and get there as time goes along. It's very rare to have both. And so I know, and that's why I'm kind of just patient because I know what it is. He's young, he's on his rookie contract. That's what happens. He was here. First year he was here, he was injured. No, first year he played half a season, got injured. Second year he was here, came back in the middle of the season, played well. And so he's had like a year and a half of actual ball. This year he's been yo-yoed around. So I feel like his rhythm's been all over the place. Does that mean he'll never get better? No, it doesn't mean that. I think he can still get better. Does it mean for all intents and purposes, this can be his ceiling. For all intents and purposes, this could be his ceiling. But to me, I still feel like it's too early to say it's his ceiling. That's all I'm saying.
I think he's had more opportunity in even a starting role than Deuce McBride, and Deuce McBride has already surpassed him as a reliable three-point shooter.
More opportunity in a starting role. He started for what, a year?
Yeah, I mean that's literally the definition of more opportunity in a starting role. But yes,
I mean this year Deuce is shooting better from three. He's been shooting better for three for how many months? He's been shooting well from three for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Grimes shot 38% from three for 2 seasons. That's all I'm saying. He's had more than a month. He's having a bad stretch. He's having a bad season. But I've seen half a season when he was healthy and another season when he was healthy of him shooting well, which is why I'm sticking with it. That's why I'm sticking with it.
I've never seen him be as reliable as Dante DiVincenzo hitting threes when we.
Dante DiVincenzo is in year 8 of his career.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just comparing someone who took the spot. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, and I'm telling you he's in year 8 of his career. Yeah.
I'm not comparing someone on another team. I'm comparing Knicks.
I know. I'm just letting you know. You're comparing him to someone who's in year 8.
That's fine.
With Miles
in year 2, he did in year 2.
Yeah, I understand. Grimes had a career high, 5 points or something, year 1. Dante just had it this year, in year 8.
Dante's just now getting an opportunity, but Grimes had last year.
So Dante's been with the Warriors last year. He's been around the league. He's been with the Bucks. He's been here 8 years.
Yeah. As a minimal bench player. Grimes was a starter in his second season. He hasn't lived up to the opportunities given to him.
But he's still been here 8 years.
Tibbs obviously agrees with me because Tibbs has yanked him out of the starting rotation, never to be put back again. So I think whatever I see, I think Tibbs sees too.
Yeah, I still think you can't compare 8 years to a year and a half.
No, I'm just comparing right now.
I get what Lee's trying to say, though. It's kind of like saying, like, yeah, I understand that Dante's been here for a number of years and Grimes is still starting out. But the thing is that Dante's been a bench player his whole career. Then all of a sudden now, even though it's year 8, he all of a sudden kind of boosted himself to the starting lineup and producing. Whereas Grimes, it's like, okay, even though he's still young, he pretty much became a starter in year 2. So you're expecting him to have an upward slope in development, but it seemed like his development kind of stalled a bit going into year 3. So it's like your faith in him kind of drops a bit because you're expecting him to just keep soaring up because as a year 2 starter, you're expecting, you're expecting bigger things from that guy. And so far, if you're going to be realistic about it, if you're going to be honest, he hasn't lived up to the expectations, of him being the 25th pick in a year 2 starter and going into year 3, losing his job in the starting lineup, etc. I think that's what Lee is trying to say. So from that standpoint, it's like, so I think from that standpoint, Lee is like, Grimes has not shown us that in the opportunities that he's gotten that he's on an upward slope of development. So if the right deal comes along, I think the Knicks, he's saying that he thinks that the Knicks should probably just move him for somebody who's more reliable in that position and plays defense. I get where Lee is coming from.
That's what Leon's doing. That's why you hear about Grimes as a trade piece being available.
Well, he's trade. Yeah, I mean, Volunteer Bird is probably going to happen. He's playing him because they expected him to get more time, and he hasn't gotten more time. He gotten 15 minutes a game once the trade happened, and he was like disgruntled. I remember in the beginning of the season, they were talking about running plays for him. And then he got 15 minutes a game. So I guess they're kind of wondering what happened. But I get it. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is Dante's had a time to suck and then come back, work through a slump and then come back in 7-8 years. This is Grimes' third year, half of it was injured. And we all saw what happened in the first part of the season. He got like 5 touches a game. Like he was getting frozen out. The type of shots that Dante is taking right now are the type of shots that most people would deem bad shots, but he trained himself to shoot it. So it's Dante, so it's good shots. You know what I mean? It's like the type of shot Dante is taking is like, I pass you the ball, he throws it up within like 0.5 seconds, 1 second. Most people don't shoot that way. I still remember Evan Fournier talking about he had to train himself to shoot that way because he was used to being a playmaker and having more time to like set, corner, shoot. So it's like the way the Knicks play and use that 2 guard spot is a little different. You almost got like Chuck, for a lack of a better word. And Dante is good at shooting that shot, and that's why he's starting right now. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. So look at the chat.
I'm advocating for Quentin Grimes to eventually be upgraded, and I like to think that Leon Rose is kind of already doing that right now. And I think by the summertime, he won't be on the roster. We'll have someone even better than him in that role. Hopefully.
It's going to be Bruce Brown. It's not going to be...
That's an upgrade.
It's going to be Bruce Brown, who's not a shooter, but he's a gamer. So
yeah, he is.
So he'll probably shoot 30% and then hit the big shot, I guess.
I'll take that. Better than 38% and fall asleep in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Grimes.
Yeah,
I feel like he'll be fine, even if it's not in New York.
Yeah, I'm not giving up Grimes. I'm not giving up on Grimes yet unless it's the right deal.
Yeah, I agree. All right, salute to the chat. Had a spin-off conversation about Grimes and shooting. That's what we do here. But do we have anything else you want to talk about? We could talk about the weird Mikal Bridges trade thing and get your thoughts on that. I know you guys have been seeing the Mikal Bridges trade kind of circulate around.
Oh hell yeah.
This is the interesting conversation because this philosophy, it's kind of overlaps with another philosophy I had about the DeJounte thing and overpaying. But let's see if I can find something on Reddit on short notice. So it's weird. My Twitter kind of got hacked, so it's been weird. Okay, so listen. Okay, here we go. Bobby Marks trade idea. Knicks get Mikal Bridges for Fournier, Grimes, and 5 first-round picks. Bobby Marks posted an article titled 6 Trades We Want to See and included the deal for Mikal. First-round picks include Dallas, Milwaukee, 2 unprotected, and 1 top 5 protected pick, and 1 top 5. Yo, this is a monster. What the hell? Just to preface, I don't think this is meant to be a realistic proposal. Marks has been on the record saying he highly doubts BK would make the deal with NYK. It's more of a trade ideal that he would like to see. That's crazy.
I'll start off by saying this. If it's not Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, if it's not Ant Edwards, if it's not a Jason Tatum or somebody like that, I'm not giving up no damn 5 first-round picks for any damn player. I don't give a damn.
5 first?
Way too much.
Didn't KD go for
Way
5? What the hell? You giving up 5 for Mikal Bridges, who's struggling to, and it's. I always had this argument. I had this argument about DeJounte. My argument with DeJounte is, if you feel like this move will give you a chip, does it matter if you overpay or not?
No,
That is
I make
true.
this deal in a heartbeat.
See?
All day, every day. All day, every day. But you know why? I'll tell you why. Because not all 5 picks are Knicks picks. Only 3 of them are. The other one is Milwaukee, Dallas. They can have that shit. The other 2 are 2 unprotected Knicks. Fair for him. And they're protected.
Top 5 protected is crazy.
I'll do it.
Mikal's not even top 5 player himself.
He makes us a dynasty, in my opinion. You give Brunson all the familiarity in the world. Like, you got dudes that he understands that understand him. You don't give up Randle. You don't give up Mitch. You don't give up Hart, DiVincenzo. You keep all your core guys. And only 3 of those picks are Knicks picks. The other 2 are picks that are Dallas and Milwaukee. I do it in a heartbeat every time. We win a championship this year.
Yo,
There's 5
you know,
picks, I don't care.
you know what? My brain, I have one side of my brain that's like, Jay, if you win the chip, does it really matter? And then I have the other side of my brain that hates being bamboozled and it's fighting each other right now. Like, I hate overpaying for stuff, yo. They're fighting each other right now. They're going to war.
This isn't an overpay, though.
It's like me internally, I'm a person that stands on business. So it's like, I'm looking at the value of a player and I'm like, okay, potentially, can this player turn this team into a dynasty? Yes. But is that player really worth 5 first-round picks? No.
Hell no.
So for me, it's like, I know that this player might turn this team into a dynasty, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, I'm standing on business. Like, you're not gonna fleece me for 5 first-round picks.
I'm from New York. You're not gonna fleece me, bro.
Well, wait, though. But they're not all equal. They're not all 5 unprotected Knicks picks. They're not all 5 New York Knicks picks. Only 3 of them are, and only 2 are unprotected. You have to say what they are. The other one is Milwaukee and Dallas. What is it? What's that? The 19th pick, the 27th pick? Of course you did. And not only that, 3 of them are for this year. Of course you give it up. You're a contender.
That 2029 top 5 protected pick is crazy.
Sure. Yeah. That's
5 years from now. 5 years from now, you know, how old is Brunson? How old is Randle? They're in their 30s. If we ain't killing it.
But does it matter when you have that ring on your finger?
Man.
That banner in the rafters?
Top 5 protected is crazy. You better win that chip, man.
I think 4 out of 5 of those are in the 20s.
Jeez.
4 out of 5. I think only that 2029 one is not in the 20s. The rest are in the 20s. How good the Knicks are, how good the Mavs are, how good the Bucks are. These aren't pick number 2, pick number 3 we're giving up. This is pick 23.
The thing
Make that
is,
trade in your dynasty, man.
the thing is, if you make that trade, it better work. Like, you
Yo.
better win a better win.
What's Julius Randle's shoulder looking like in 2026? I don't know. These are the things you gotta think about, man. You gotta think about injuries. You gotta think about all that.
I think Bridges is the right character and the right score. He's a 2-way guy, elite defender. I mean, he's molded himself into a 5-level scorer. He's well respected, and he knows Brunson at the back of his hand. This is not Murray where it's an awkward fit. It's a great fit. It's an elite fit. You got a huge lineup now. You go out into the starting, and you don't give up any rotation but Grimes. You're a dynasty. I make this trade every time. He fits what Tibbs is looking for. Murray doesn't. He does.
No, he does. You heard me say this. You heard me say this a month ago. I was like, guys, what if you get Mikal Bridges? And he was like, wasn't Mikal Bridges a 3? I was like, yeah, he's a 3, but you can easily start him at the 2. He can guard the 2. Don't matter. Mikal, OG, Mitch, and or Hartenstein, whatever, with Randle, and that, like, you can locking teams up, and then you can have Mikal run the second unit and be a playmaker on the second unit. Like, I see the vision. I was probably the one who not even me. Somebody in the chat actually fed me that. He said, "What about Mikal?" I was like, that's a damn good idea. But I understand all of that. Man, 5 picks is crazy. Like, you're not KD, man. You're not KD. Like, I might be able to talk my way into 4, depending on what picks they are. But 5 is crazy.
That KD trade was all Suns picks. They weren't other teams' picks. It was all Phoenix. Phoenix was mortgaging their entire future. Their picks. This is different. This is only 3 of ours, not 5 of ours, and no swaps. You still have your swaps. Make that trade.
Can't be no top 5 either. Just get that out of here. He was an 8 pick. No top 5 pick. Yeah.
Him and OG on the perimeter. Oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be devastating, people.
Yeah,
Dynasty.
It's just the amount of picks is just crazy for me. 5 picks. That's the only thing that
We don't even care about that Dallas and Milwaukee pick, man. Like, we don't even talk about those picks.
I'm talking about the top 5. That top 5 2029 pick is blowing my mind. That pick in particular is blowing my mind. That one right there. I think that's the one that's giving me heart complications.
Yeah, that pick is a huge gamble right there.
It's worth it. Bridges ain't a bum.
I might have to take that pick.
He's shown he can do whatever he needs. You need to be the primary scorer, he'll do that. The third best player on the team, do that. Guard the best player, do that. Him, OG Mitch, come on, bro. We're gonna be the best defensive team in the NBA for years to come.
I would probably do it if I take away the 2029 pick. I'd probably do it with those 4 picks.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
The 2029 pick has me kind of iffy.
Yeah, 29. Top 5. That's crazy. That is crazy. Quentin Grimes. Wow. And then they have 2 unprotected picks on top of that. It's whoo. All right, cool. We got 2 nods and 1 hell yeah. I see a couple of hell yeahs in the chat and a couple of.
It's actually an F yeah, but I don't want to ruin the channel.
I understand. keep that monetization going.
It doesn't make us a contender. It makes us a dynasty. I really believe that. He's young. He knows Brunson. That chemistry. He's a Tibbs guy. It all made sense.
Yeah, I see I saw F those picks in the chat. I saw that.
Again, if they were 5 Knicks picks, I would not do the deal. But because 2 of them were Dallas, Milwaukee, I'm in.
Yeah, I might have been in until top 5 protected 2029. That's the one that's giving me the pause button. Yeah, son. Nah, I'm good. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll do 4.
5 picks for a Mikal Bridges level type of play. I'm like, nah, I feel like I get him for cheaper.
Yeah. All right. Salute to the chat. We had some debates. We had Mikal Bridges. We had Grimes. The Grimes debate. Oh, man, Ebony would have ate you up when we heard you talking about Grimes like that. Shoot.
We can bring it back. I'm
gonna wake her up right now.
Joshua Rivera said, "You want to draft 5 more Obies? That's on you, fam."
Oh man. Or 5 more IQs, damn it. I don't know.
Where's he at?
Toronto.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, me personally, I just think 5 picks is just a crazy amount of picks for just Mikal Bridges. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
If it was someone who had some question marks around their character or their fit, I might side with you. That's seamless. Just the continuity with Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo alone. I just feel like he would fit in perfectly.
No, I feel it. I feel it too. I feel like it too. And they Brooklyn, and I'm from Brooklyn. I know what Brooklyn people try. They try to rob you. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you're not gonna try to get me. Like, I already know the game. Can't. That's that. Of course, that's the bridge tax. That's the toll that they trying to get us, man. That's that bridge tax.
Facts. That's definitely Knicks tax.
That's the Knicks tax to the 10th degree. All right, I'm good though. I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. I don't know. Do you have any bruh picks?
I don't really have a bruh picks tonight. It's been a minute. I haven't been able to check out what's been going on. That's why.
Okay. Any bruh picks for you tonight, Lee?
Yeah, no, me neither.
Wow. Do I have any bruh picks tonight? Things that make you go.
I mean, unless I want to say bro pick for Cody Martin for getting his lunch taken away by Miles McBride earlier.
That's a ooh pick.
I mean,
The ooh pick, my friend. Put that man in jail.
facts.
All right, well, I guess we no bro picks tonight. All right. That Josh Hart pass, the Josh Hart pass out of bounds under the rim and nobody was even in sight. I missed
Yeah,
that.
that was a
pass.
bro pick.
I missed that pass. When did that happen?
Yeah, I know the pass you talk about. Yeah, that was a broad pick. Yeah, the Hornets bench post Jackson was a broad pick as well. Yeah, we did mention that. How everybody was laughing, having a jolly old good time on the bench.
Oh
After
yeah.
ejected from the game, and they get it smacked, and the crowd's going, "Let's go Knicks, let's go Knicks."
Yeah, that was definitely a bro pick.
That's a good one.
That was a good one. Does that make you look like at LaMelo Ball differently?
LaMelo
Yes.
probably don't even want to be there. He probably don't even want to be there.
He probably, I mean, he getting paid, so I don't know. He right, yeah, he might be right. He's like, I ain't playing. Who cares? That's how I felt.
Facts.
That's how I felt. But you know what's funny too? I heard Nate Robinson, because you remember when Nate Robinson was here, and he was the jokester, and that it was like there was some years when Nate Robinson was here where the Knicks was getting smacked a lot. And he talked about that. He was like, man, when you're losing every night, you don't want to be on the bench depressed all the damn time. Like, like I want to laugh, I want to smile at some time. If I'm winning 7 games out of, it's like I guess. If you're losing 7 games out of winning 7 games out of 82, you don't look mad every night. I guess you gotta smile sometime. I guess I don't know. Bro.
I guess I think I would say my smile's more so off camera.
Yeah.
Just for the optics, but obvious, I'd have a straight ass face on the bench.
That's a fact. Very Fizdale-ish. I'll never forget that Fizdale picture.
I think I'm gonna have a oop pick.
Oh, what's your oop pick?
My oop pick's Tom Thibodeau, man. This is the type of game where 3-4 years ago, before Tibbs, 4 or 5 years ago, we would have lost this game. It would have been embarrassing. We wouldn't have taken him seriously. Would have went in there and got smacked. Tom Thibodeau always has these guys prepared. I love that Nets man up mentality, and it exists. We'd have 3 starters out, and we'd have McBride stepping in, Precious Achiuwa stepping in. I love what Tibbs has built culture-wise. Don't always love his rotations or decision-making or how he closes, but I love the culture, and I trust him. I've gotten to the point where I trust him, and I'm excited to see what he's able to do in the playoffs with this roster. I think it's finals bound, in my opinion. Shout out Tibbs.
All right. Shout out Tibbs.
Yeah, and I do want to add one thing to what Lee just said too, because I know there's been an argument saying that how you build a team, whether you build a team around a coach or you build a team not based on what the coach wants and it's the coach's job to actually adjust to the players that he have on the roster. I think what the Knicks are doing right now is kind of proving that sometimes it doesn't hurt to build around the coach, because if you build around the coach and you get him the right players for his system, it could turn into a machine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. I keep remembering this one podcast when Fred Katz said there are not a lot of coaches that can coach everybody. He said most coaches can coach a certain system, and there's only about 3 coaches in the league who can just adapt like that. And he named, I think, Spoelstra, Lou, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. Might be able to put email back in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You might be able to be put in that category right now too. But we definitely kind of catered to Tibbs. And it's funny because it's annoying, but I personally like defenders. So it's annoying sometimes when you don't, but I also kind of like Phil. I'm like, I like defenders too. So I don't mind getting the guy who can defend. Like, that's my bag. That's my bag. The only thing that I might get annoyed about is the stretch 5 thing where he doesn't want to try it enough or go small thing sometimes.
Yeah.
But
definitely agree.
That's the thing that probably annoys me the most is the small. They're not going small or not giving young players more of a leash sometimes. But other than that, he's been all right.
The chat is bringing up the Rasheed Wallace. I can't remember what podcast he was on. It wasn't one of the player ran ones. Maybe someone in the chat can help me out with the name, but I did see the clip. I clicked on it.
I saw
I
that.
clicked on it. It was like Nits for Clits. It was Rasheed Wallace slams Tom Thibodeau, and I was like, oh, I want to hear what he has to say. He didn't really. He slammed him more on the court than it was on his basketball IQ or acumen.
Yeah, it was. But the thing was, and shout out to Rashid, 'cause I actually interviewed him back in the day when I was with the other show. But he was holding this big grudge, and I felt like, dog, let it go. Like it wasn't even that deep. He was upset that when he was in a playoff run, I guess Tibbs was in the running for the Chicago job while they were in the middle of a playoff run. And I guess, but at that time, Tibbs was an assistant coach. He wasn't the main coach.
It happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Yeah, if he was the main coach and he's looking for another job during the playoff run, then I can see why you'd be upset. But dude, like, he got a family. He's trying to like advance his career. I don't know. I feel like he needs to let that go.
Gregory Lee just brought up that he said Tibbs was fake. He did, and I was like, oh, I wanted to hear that too. But like, he said he was going to have a certain role, but he didn't. Nah, man, it's when he went to Chicago. He wanted Tibbs to add him to the roster. Then Tibbs like ignored him or didn't give him a role when he wanted to come back out of being retired. I'm like, that's not his. Like, okay, he told you at some point he would bring you back, but if you're washed, I mean, when you saw when he was on the Knicks, the only thing he did was shoot threes. He didn't do nothing else but shoot threes on the Knicks. Yeah. He was essentially washed at that point. You can't be mad at Tibbs for not wanting to ruin his 60-win season Chicago Bulls with Rasheed Wallace. Come on, man. It was weak criticism.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like he should let that go. It wasn't anything crazy.
Facts.
I feel like I've heard other complaints about other coaches where I'm just like, oh yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Like all the Denver Nuggets, everything about the George Karl. Like George Karl, when people are throwing George Karl on the bus, like, yeah, he was an asshole.
Yeah. I hate George Karl. Hate Phil Jackson too.
Yeah.
Two bums. Hall of Fame bums. With bums.
Hall of Fame bum.
Yeah, Hall of Fame and the Raptors for sure.
Yo, it's kind of funny though, because speaking of Rasheed Wallace, I forgot what game it was this season. It was a few games back though. But remember that game against I forgot who, but this is when Rasheed Wallace was with the Knicks. I think if my memory serves me correctly, I think it was the Raptors, but I'm not 100% sure. But remember that game that she played on the Knicks against? I think it was the Raptors. Don't quote me on that. Like, I think so. And remember that game he got teed up, right? And then when he got teed up, the guy at the free throw line missed the free throw, and then he shot a ball, don't lie, and got ejected from the game shortly right after that. So just to show that reputation doesn't matter a whole lot, there was a game like a few games ago. I forgot what game it was, but Josh Hart was basically, it was the other team taking a free throw. Josh Hart was at, the line, where, they line up, waiting for the rebound and things of that nature. And the dude missed the free throw. Josh Hart shot a ball, don't lie, and my man didn't get teed up at all for doing that. Just to show you that reputation means a lot, because I still remember that time back in the day when Rasheed Wallace got ejected for shot a ball, don't lie, and the refs kicked him out the game, but yet Josh Hart shot a ball, don't lie, and my man didn't even get teed up.
Yeah. They used to hunt Rasheed for tees. That was the thing.
Facts.
They used to hunt them. But yeah. Josh Hart, I mean, they don't get Josh Hart calls, so they still kind of do with him. It's just another way. But yeah. All right. I don't even know what to call that. Is that a bruh pick? Oh, bruh. I guess it is. I guess it is. All right, good show, guys. Good show. We can wrap it up right now. Lee, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at @Leescobedo, LEEESCOBEDO, or hit that search bar and hashtag bum, and you'll probably find me fighting with a math fan. Book club, y'all. Spanish writer, Augustine Basterio. Tender as a Flesh. I've been watching a lot of True Detective. I love True Detective. Love that metaphysical, science fiction, H.P. Lovecraft type horror. And this is a unbelievable social commentary on capitalism and the evils of it. I am pro-capitalist, but I also love to hear great critiques of capitalism as well. And this book imagines a world where at some point all meat, chickens, cows, pigs become poisoned. So humans being humans, they start raising human livestock, and the world becomes cannibals. And it's a book about someone who works at a cannibal factory with humans and ends up falling in love with one of the livestock, so to speak. It's about how we treat each other, how we see humans, the idea of humanity. At what point does compassion go out the door when you're back against the wall, you're trying to survive? It's a really horrifying, grotesque novel, but I found it very poignant, especially written by a woman, a Spanish woman, to have the female point of view, writing about male characters in this post-apocalyptic world. Very interesting, multi-layered point of view, and a very interesting subject matter to deal with the corruption of the human spirit in a apocalyptic time.
Yeesh.
And there is a flesh.
So light reading.
Also watch True Detective season 4. It's amazing.
The light reading. Got you. Cool.
Yeah, light reading. It's very short. I read it this morning over coffee. It's very short, but yeah, very intense.
Light traumatization over coffee and donut.
Right, yeah. It's a regular morning at Thibodeau house, you know. You might guess.
Nah, yeah. Interesting. Capitalism is an interesting subject. I mean, I always feel like America is like capitalism gone rogue, where I don't know. I always felt like it needed some checks and balances, and right now it's unchecked, which is why you get things where you're just selling meat that's not meat. It's killing everybody, but nobody cares because it's money over everything. But that's another story.
Hold up, let him cook. Let him cook. He's cooking.
Man, that's how I feel. But what Ryan G, what you got to say, man? Let them know where you can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. You can also find me on Instagram at Sir G is Chillin'.
Sir G is chillin'.
That is SIR. G is CHILLIN.
All right. Also, shout out to my guy George into the Knicks Fans.
Let's go.
Shout out to George. Check out the channel if you haven't already. Pretty sure you have, because I feel like our followers are intertwined mostly. So yeah, shout out George into Knicks Fans, does great work. Definitely check out his channel. Shout out everybody in the chat. Picks for Timmy, always with us. Gregory Lee, Joshua Rivera was passionate. Shout out to 19 Con. Shout out to Glamour Knicks, aka Mrs. Tibbs. Shout out to you. Shout out to Prezi the Boss. Shout out to everybody rocking with the KOT show, Death Row. If you like that, like the show, hit that like and subscribe. And shout out to all the new followers and stuff. We got 170 plus followers in the month. So I appreciate all the new followers. Hopefully, if you like the show, you hit that like and subscribe, and you share. To get the word out. The KOT is here. We debate healthy. We talk facts. We joke. We laugh. And this is a place to be if you're a Knicks fan and you love healthy, debatable Knicks talk without the agenda. All right? That's how we do. All right. That is the show. We are out of here. And as always,
shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That's the show. We out this mug.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.